Good morning, everybody. My name is Akodiola Komi Joshua. I'm going to be anchor for this morning's morning market review. Welcome. It's another week, it's another day for us to look at what is happening in the market and make some interesting decisions. Yeah, but before we go on, let me acknowledge us. Yeah, good morning, Bola Fadiji. Good morning to you, Brown Akiola. Good morning, Chiniju Oshaji. Good morning, Ekpemski. Good morning, Frederick Omoko. Good morning, Ike. Good morning, Elisa Yusuf. Good morning to Isaac Ajunwo. Good morning to Carlo. Good morning, Mandu Timothy. Good morning, Monday. Good morning, Okena Francis. Good morning to Oyedele Kekeriata. Okay, Kekeriata. All right. All right. Good morning to you. Good morning to Patience Mark Angeline. Good morning to Peter Ayola. Good morning to Oji Cyril. Good morning to Prince Will Chigozie. Good morning, Rotimi Abejoye. Good morning, Soyemi Adeleke. Good morning to Thomas Lafidon. All right, and to those just joining us, if you didn't hear me calling your name, good morning to you. Kindly know that you're highly acknowledged. Thank you for joining us this morning. Welcome to today's morning market review. And hopefully it promises to be an interesting one, just like all other ones has been. Good morning to you, Adebayo Adeshino. Yes, welcome to this morning's market review. All right, yeah, I'm able to see some reactions here. Yeah, to Carlo, good morning. Peter Ayola, good morning. Good morning, Brown Akiola. Good morning, Kena Francis. All right, a quick one, please. Just for me to have it clearly. So let me know that yes, everybody's able to get me clearly. I want us to come to the chat section and put it loud, put loud and clear. They just drop the chat loud and clear. So I will have it at the back of my mind that you can hear me clearly. So everybody can hear me. So I will know that okay, Prince Will Chigozie, thank you very much, loud and clear. That's interesting. Yes, who else, please? I need other response too. Yes, I need a response too. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It shows that everybody is able to hear me loud and clear from their own end. It shows that everybody is able to hear me loud and clear from their own end. So if you're unable to hear me from your end, all I need you to do is you change your location where you are, where you're situated, switch off your device and on it again. I feel that should be a an interesting or a quick method of resetting your device. You understand? Just off it and on it, and by doing so, you should be able to hear me clearly, loud and clear. All right. Okay. With that being said, I want to believe that everybody is able to hear me. So thank you very much, and I think it's time for us to kick off on this morning's market review. So first thing first, we're going to be looking at the fundamental part. Yeah, interesting. The US government shut down. We got an information as of yesterday that the shutdown came to an end after 42 days. That's the longest also that they've ever done. That's the longest. You understand? Okay, so let's see. Because of that, there were reactions in the market. Let's see what happened. Let's look at it. All right. So I believe everybody is able to see my screen now from their end. Yes. So the whole thing ended yesterday. I said yesterday, the whole information came out that yes, they've ended their shutdown. So the information is this. Now, as of this morning, it says Fed's December rate cut looks increasingly like a toss-up. Okay. These are one of the important news. Today, there's no major news coming out, actually. No major news is coming out today. But I want to believe we would have seen what has happened in the market based on the whole shutdown coming back and the whole bill that was passed in the house. Everything affected the market, and that's why you see that on different instruments paired with USD, there were different reactions. But let's look at it. Let's look at yesterday. Let's see what happened yesterday. So as of yesterday, these were the news that came out. We had an unemployment rate and employment thing that came out on AUD, and it came out good for AUD. So if you look at as of that moment, that was around 1:30 a.m. it was so positive for AUD that AUD went up, it pushed up around that moment. Then we had news by 8 a.m. That's on GBP. That's the GDP month to month and the prelim GDP quarter to quarter. Also came out negative for GBP. You understand? That was also bad. And yeah, it responded to that news too. You understand? It was a bearish move. And that was all the major news that came out yesterday, apart from the fact that we received the information that yes, the US government is now back on track, like stopped the whole shutdown of it enough, making it the longest they've ever gone. Okay. So yes, as of today, no major news coming out. So we'll be looking out for next week to see if there's going to be any major news next week. And yeah, well, based on that, we can see what is happening. Next week, we'll have Canadian news, yeah, their CPI. Then the only news that will be coming out from the US is the Empire State and Manufacturing Index. That will be the only news that we'll receive next week. But apart from that, no other news is coming out from the market that particular day. Okay, so that's that for that. Yes, that's the only news we'll be having as of that. But all right, so since we do not have any important news for today coming up, yeah, let's look at what is going to be happening, or let's look at the currency strength meter. Let's see what is happening. So, yes, based on currency strength meter, what are we seeing now this morning? As of this morning, the strongest, okay, let me refresh. So, the strongest of all instruments as of this morning is the NZD, followed by euros. Then we have AUD, followed by USD, CHF, and CAD on the same level. Then Japanese yen. The weakest of them all is GBP. Yes, the weakest of them all is GBP. That's that on the currency strength meter.org. All right, let's look at it on the other side, on the other currency strength meter. Let's see. So on this other currency strength meter, based on what we're saying, let's look at it. So on 1 hour time frame, the strongest is CHF, followed by GBP. USD is the next, followed by JPY, Euros, CAD, NZD, and AUD is the weakest. But let's look at it from daily time frame. Yeah, can you see? It's giving us a different report. Okay, so this is the report based on what is happening live on our 1 hour time frame. That's what is given to us. So, well, they all work rightly. So, whichever one you find interesting and you feel you can use, you can go to that. All right, so we are done with fundamentals. Let's look at what is happening technically. Let's see how the market is responding to all the whole economic ups and downs. Let's know what is happening. Let's see. Okay. All right. So yes, this is it. First thing first, we're looking at Euro USD. And based on what we're seeing on Euro USD now, we discover that price of Euro USD has actually been moving up on 1 hour time frame. Let's look at it based on daily. Can we see? Based on what we're seeing on daily time frame, price actually in fact, this is it. It's just been between these 2 points. This is point one. Let me make it tight. Okay. And this is the high. Okay. This is the other point. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. We're together. All right. So look at it from these 2 points. Now, zooming out now. So price has actually just stayed within these 2 points, and in between it, there's still the internal support and resistance between these 2 points. But based on what we are seeing on the daily time frame, price is giving us that bullish move. That's what we are saying. So are we expecting it to go up? Nobody really knows. But based on the direction it's in, we've seen that it has just moved between these 2 points for a while now. So let's look at it from the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, it's giving us that push back to the upside. See when it got here, and since then it's been moving up. But yeah, how we going? What are we expecting? So let me mark out the zones that we're able to see there, because these are some of the things that can actually decide, help us in making our decision. Okay, from making it tight, it's from here, but let's put it this way. This is the highest it got, and price pulled back to this point. Yes, an injectable. If you are to make it on the zone, these are the zones. Yeah, price respected these zones. You understand? So what are we expecting? It's either price breaks above or below this point. So this is it. This is point one, and this is another point that we can have. These are the 2 points we can have. You understand? So it's either price breaks above or below this point. And if that is able to happen, then price will move. So these are the two zones we are saying now. Where is price going? Nobody knows. Either it breaks above this point or below. But yes, if we are to follow based on the information of the US coming out from their shutdown and the lights, we could expect price to move in one particular direction. Either it goes up or come down. And based on that reaction as of yesterday, we saw Euro USD moving up, but now it has done its pull. Okay, so this is it. So as of yesterday, it pulled up to this point and it did a pullback. Now we can see that price is trying to go back up to retest that same zone again. Is it going to break it or there's going to be a reversal? Nobody really knows. But let's wait and see what price is going to do. If it gets to this point and breaks above, then we know the direction is going and we can easily follow. Okay, so this that Euro USD. Okay, this Euro USD. Let's look at USD CHF. Let's see what is happening on USD CHF. Okay, so based on what we're seeing on USD CHF, price is coming down. In fact, even as of this morning, based on what we're seeing, okay, let me just put it this way. Based on what we're seeing as of this morning, price has been dropping. And if you look at it, even from the higher time frame, long time frame, you know that USD CHF has been more of a bearish move. It's been coming down, coming down, coming down, the same way weekly, daily. So now, based on what we're seeing on this 1 hour time frame, this is where the zone is. Yeah, let's look at it. These are the two zones we can easily find here. This is point one, this is 1 point, and this is another point here. Okay, so these are the 2 points we can easily get here. Okay, so yes, let's see. Either it breaks above or below these points. These are 2 points price can easily get to. This is point one, and this is another point. It's either it breaks above this point or below. So it's one of the two. Whichever direction it follows, then we can also follow based on what price is doing. This is based on support and resistance. These are the two zones. So once it's able to break any of those directions, we can easily follow. Okay, so that's that for USD CHF. These are the directions we can see on it. Might be able to, if once is able to break above or below any of those directions, then we could use that to follow the market. Okay, so the next instrument we'll be looking at is, let's look at USD card. Let's look at USD card. USD card. All right, I'm on USD card now. Let's see. All right, so this is USD card. Look, this is what USD card has been doing. So USD card has been pushing up. It's giving us a different move on USD card. And yeah, it's, well, I'm not shocked or I'm not surprised it might be giving us that, because for a long time now we know that the US economy and the Canadian economy, they've been at war. And because they are not in good relationship, yeah, price has been really, really steep on USD card, either one-sided or the other way. You understand? But looking at what we're seeing here, based on what we're seeing on 1 hour now, it has given us 2 points. Let's look at it from where the shadows or the wicks are, the highest or the shortest of, and the lowest of them all. This is another point here. So this is it. It's just between these 2 points. And as we can see, as of this morning, is now in between here. So until it gives us a definite direction, our advice, we just stay away from this particular instrument. It's gonna came down to this point, more or less like a pullback. There could be a move to the upside, but to be on the safe side, we can just hold on and see what price is going to do. Yeah, in technicals, main thing is to be very, very patient. Let price fulfill our own requirement before it moves. So yes, we can just hold on for it to either break above or below any of this direction that will follow. So that's just that on this instrument, USD card. I feel we just need to hold on it and see what is happening. Because yeah, the war has just been the trade war between US and them has just been on the high side. But if you look at it based on what we are seeing on the longer time frame, you discover that it's more or less like price is trying to push up. Yes, it's more or less like price is trying to push up. You know, price came down to this point. Now price is trying to push up, even though slowly. If we are to pull the trend, you'll see it. Price is pushing to the upside. Yes, based on what we're seeing. So for that reason, we could expect that price might what push to the upside. And even if it's able to break above these points, then we should expect a higher move than that to the upside. But nobody knows. It could get there and still respect that point. So let's wait and see what price is going to do on that part. All right, so the next instrument we'll look at is USD JPY. USD JPY. Let's see what is happening on USD JPY. USD JPY. Right, let's look at it from higher time frame. Let's see. Okay, so this is on the daily time frame now. And looking at it from daily time frame, it's been giving us that bullish trend. It's been giving us that bullish trend. For a while, it ranged here, then did a little bit up, back into that zone, then bam, gapped up, and since then, it's been giving us the higher low of a thing, pushing up till it got to this particular high. So this is the high where price got to. It now got rejected there. Now did a little pullback now. So this we're saying here, okay, so let's look at it from 1 hour now. So based on what we're seeing on this time frame now, can we see these are the 2 points, the highest point, then back into this point. It's just in between this point. JPY has actually been weak since the election of their first female prime minister. So I want to believe the whole move for JPY has actually been political. It could be as a result of their having a woman. Now, that could also be one reason why the market or JPY has been weak economically. Could have some political saboteurs who might not like the lady, and because of that, for one reason or the other, they might also be pushing down the whole economy of China. That's why we can see that yes, it's been weak, you understand, but normally it's supposed to be strong based on the whole things we're saying. But with that being said, let's just look at what is happening on the chart now. So from what we're seeing on this chart, price currently is not giving us any definite direction here. It's more or less like it's ranging between these 2 points here in this from this point. This is point one. Okay, coming. Okay, this is 1 point and this is another point. Okay, so this is it. So from these little points here in here, this is what is expected. Either it breaks above this point successfully, or comes back to break below this point. Oh, at that point, that's when we'll be able to say, okay, let's go for either the bullish or the bearish move. It's one of these 2 points, you understand? And once it breaks up outside these 2 points, it will pick a direction. Either it goes up and breaks above this point here, or comes down and breaks below this point. One of the two will surely happen. Okay, so that's that on USD JPY. That's that on USD JPY. You Okay, Yusuf Abdulkadir, you're asking if JPY is for Japan. Yes, JPY is for Japanese yen. It's for Japanese yen. But and you're asking how is it connected to China? One of the things you need to understand is this. These are Asian countries. It's just like you asking Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar. They are more or less like in the same region. So one way or the other, they will affect themselves. You understand? That's why you discover that there are times that news will come out even from Australian dollars, it affects New Zealand. You understand? All those things like that. For those that you say have some cordial business a relationship in terms of business, it will affect themselves, you understand? There'll always be that, and they are all Asian countries, and so one way or the other to affect, but not all the information or news you see affecting each other. It could be in line with the one they are having. Okay, let's say maybe they have a particular business in a line of energy. That's just an example. In line with energy, if anything is affecting Japan in terms of energy, it's going to also affect China too, if they are having any business together on that. So that's the way it is. It's going to either move it up or come down. Okay, so for instance now, yesterday a news came out on CNN that was saying that they are going to be cutting the tax rate on coffee. Now you see, for all those countries that are into coffee, that are large producers of coffee and export coffee, it's going to affect them either positively or negatively. That's something like that. So you see, for all those people that are importing or transporting, selling, exporting their coffee from their countries to the US, surely it will affect either to the positive side or the negative side. That's just the way it is. As far as they do business together, one of those things, two things, yes, it will affect each other. Okay. That's that for that. Let's look at GBP USD. Let's look at what is happening on GBP USD. Okay, so based on what we're seeing on GBP USD, we can see price is coming down. This is on my daily time frame, and it has done a pullback up. So is it trying to respect it? But this morning, as of this morning, the candle opened bearish and is going. In fact, when it first opened, did a minor push to the upside, then after that got rejected and it's been coming down. It's been coming down. So this is it on our 1 hour time frame. It's been more of a bearish move. Can we see? So what are we expecting? So this is one zone here. So if price is able to break below this zone successfully, then we should expect a continuation in that line. There are still other zones here because this is another zone here. This is another zone here. So yes. So either it breaks below this point or it gets to this point and it respects this zone and reverses back up. But if it breaks below this point, it's coming to meet this particular zone here. So it's either it breaks below this point or it reverses back to the up and it reverses back to the upside, or it breaks below it and continues downward. Either it gets to this point, respects this zone, reverses back to the upside, push back up. So it's one of the two. The whole rejection could happen here or here. But one of the two will happen. Either it breaks below and it reverses back to the upside. That's just it. Nobody really knows where exactly it's going to do. But yes, let's just mark out these zones and wait for price to see what price is going to do. Okay, so that's that for GBP USD. Let's look at AUD USD. Let's see what is happening on AUD USD. After which we look at NZD USD. All right, AUD USD. So this is AUD USD based on what we're seeing on daily time frame too. You can see when it opened, it did a push up, but now it's coming down. But let's see what is happening. Okay, so we're marking out this zone for rates. Let's look at it this way. Exactly. So fine. So this is fine. Price could go and break below this point or respect this zone. Is one of the two things. Either it breaks below this point or it respects this point. One of the two will happen. But if it respects this point, we could have a push back to the upside. But if it breaks below it, then it could be a continuation in that line. There could be a continuation in that line. Okay. So let's see what okay, Ike say so. Is it safe to sell GBP USD given the current trend? Yeah, well, just like this is the response I'll give to you. Say the trend is your friend. You understand? Don't trade against the trend. That's what we always tell you. The trend is your friend. So whatever the trend is giving to you, whatever the market is saying you should do, that's what you should do. You understand? That's what you should do. Okay, so all right. So that's that on AUD USD based on what we're seeing on this zone. Now, it's either it breaks below this point and continues moving down, or it gets to this zone, respects this zone, and reverses back to the upside. Okay, so that's that on AUD USD. Let's look at NZD USD. Let's look at NZD USD. NZD USD. NZD USD. Nice. All right. So based on what we're seeing on NZD USD on the daily time frame, look at the way it's been more of a downward trend, giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Yes, let me zoom out so we can see. Can you see it from this point? It's been dropping. So on the daily time frame, price got to this low and rejected, went back to the upside. Now it has gotten to this high side. This is on daily time frame. Yes, got to this point, got rejected, came back down. Okay, so let's look at it from 1 hour time frame now. Okay, so based on what we're seeing now, we can see that was done on the higher time frame. And based on what we're saying, price has gone up to this point. So it's more of, well, if we are to respect the trend, we'll say price wants to go down. You understand? Price wants to go down. But yes, do not forget that it's another minor zone around this point. There's a minor zone here. So it could be this way. Either price gets to this point and respects it, or price is able to break below this point. And if it breaks below this point, there could be a continuation in that line downwards. So that's that on NZD/USD. Based on what we're seeing on higher time frame, has been giving us the downward trend. And yes, the trend should be your friend. Never trade against the trend. That's what we advise. So if it's giving you that trend, to our advice, you can follow the trend once it meets your requirement. That's that on NZD/USD. Okay. All right. Anu Joy, you're saying we should look at GBP card. Okay, so let's do it this way. You know the drill with me. For me, I take more of once I'm done with other instruments, we'll come back and look at other instruments. You understand? So, but we'll do it like this because I'm on currency. These first two currencies I'm seeing, I know you're saying we should look at GBP card. Peter Ayola, you're saying we should look at GBP JPY. I will take that. Then after that, I move to commodities. Okay, so that's the two I'll take for now. For now, GBP card first. Let's look at GBP card. GBP card. After which we look at GBP JPY. JPY. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So this is GBP card. Looking at it from the higher time frame now, let's look at it from daily time frame. Let's see what is price doing. So price has actually been between these 2 points on GBP card currently. This is on daily time frame. So on daily time frame, we can boldly say it's just moving sideways between 2 points. Okay, got to this point respected, came down to this point respected. It now is pushing back up, and it's so it's just that's that on daily time frame. But let's see it on 1 hour time frame. This is what it has done on the 1 hour time frame. So yes, is it going to go up? Price has created a zone here. It's coming down. It has created a zone here, and there's another zone around this point. Okay, so this is it. Either it breaks below this point successfully and continues that bearish move, or gets back to this point, breaks above this point, breaks above this point, then we can say price is going to what? Push up on GBP card. So this is one of the two. Either it breaks below this point or it breaks above that point, and then we can say we can follow and see what is going to happen. Okay, so that's that on these two. Okay, so yes, that's that on GBP card. That's that on GBP card. All right, let's look at GBP JPY, then we'll move. GBP JPY. So this is it on daily time frame. Woo. So if you look at it on daily time frame, you discover that price has been pushing up, showing the weakness of JPY. Price has been pushing really, really high up. You understand? Look at it. It's been going up. In fact, this is from since March. It's been pushing up till now. So it's been pushing up till it got to this point. Okay, so let's look at it from 1 hour and see what is happening. Now, 1 hour, it got to this high. That's what we're seeing from 1 hour. This is it on this high. Then got rejected, came down to this point. And price has respected this point. So it's one of the, so this is what I'll just give to us here. Says the zones has been marked out for us. So this is it. Either price breaks above this point and continues that bullish move, or it respects that point and comes back down. And if it breaks below this point, we should expect a bearish move. So one of the two is going to happen. These are the two zones we can see here. One of the two is going to happen. Either it breaks above or below. That's just it. You understand? One of the two is going to happen between these 2 points. Either it breaks above and continue, or it gets to this point, respects it, comes back down, break below this point, and continues that bearish move. Okay, so that's that on GBP JPY. Yes. Okay, so thank you. Let's move to commodity now. Let's go to commodity now. So I'm going to be looking at 3 instruments from commodities. Let's see. I'll look at oil. Okay, coming. Look at oil. Then we'll look at let's look at coffee because of the news that came out on coffee yesterday. Let's see. Yes, coffee. And yes, let's look at wheat again. Let's look at wheat. Then let's look at silver. Silver has been it for me for a while now. Yes. Oh, sorry. Okay, silver. Okay. All right, good. So we start with oil. Let's look at oils. All right. Oil. Now, this is the what oils has done. We can see that price moved up, even gapped up to this point. Gapped up here and continued that move. Okay. So from my own end, I'll expect price of oil to come down. I'll expect it to come down to this point and cover. Yes, that's if I'm giving a bias, but nobody really knows whether it's going to do that. But let's see what is going to happen. Okay. Hmm. Looking at the trend based on what we are seeing on the higher time frame, price has been giving us this move. You understand? Pushed up now, it's coming back down. Okay, so let's see. Is it going to continue in that line? Nobody really knows because when it gapped up coming down, you see, normally we expect price to come back and fill up whichever gaps they've created. And if you look at it over time, so yes, we could be expecting price to fill up these gaps. So based on that, we could say price could go down a little, get to this point before it gets rejected. Nobody really knows. But yes, price could get to this point. So if price is able to break below this point successfully, we could say price will. We're expecting price, well, price could get as low as this point. So from this point, it could get rejected because there's a zone here, a minor zone here, or even to this point too. But yes, we could expect price to go down. You understand? So we could expect it to go down. But if it's going to go down, it has to be below this point. It has to break below this point first. If it breaks below this point, then we could expect it to go down. But if it doesn't, it could be a pushback to the upside. So this is actually the strong point for price on oil. Okay, so that's our area of risk. Let me put it that way. All right, so this that on oil. Let's move to another instrument. Let's go to coffee. Yes. Remember, I was saying it that yesterday, we got an information that they are going to be cutting the tax rate on coffee. And because of that, this was the reaction. You see, the price came down from that high price to everything and it has gotten to this low. That was the reaction on coffee as of yesterday, based on what the information we got. So it could still continue in that line. You can see, in fact, if you are to look at it, it's based on pattern. This is more or less like letter N that it has given to us here. Okay. So let's look at it from this line. If price is able to break below this part, we could expect it to go bearish continuation in that line. Or if it respects this zone, it could reverse back up. Because if you look at it, the last time around this point, price got to this point and respected this zone, pushed up. So price is now back there. It has gotten there. The first time it came there, it pushed back up. Came there the second time, did the same thing. Now it's coming back there. So it's one of the two. Either it breaks below and continues in that bearish move, or it reverses back to the upside. You understand? So that's that for coffee. And yes, please kindly understand this. Whoever wants to trade coffee, you need good funds because these are part of the agro commodities. You understand? And you need huge sums in your trading account. Don't just have a little amount of money in your account. You need good funds in your account. You want to trade commodities, please have good amount, good capital. Have a good capital in your account. You understand? With that, be able to do commodities. And I can assure you, commodity is one of those currency instrument that can actually give you good profits. You understand? Okay. So with that being said on coffee, we'll move to the next instrument, which is wheat. Which is wheat. So we're on wheat now. Let's see what is happening on wheat. Okay, so based on what we're saying on daily time frame, price of wheat got to this high, did a pull back down. Now price is pushing up. Okay, this is it. Got to this high, price respected that point, came back down, and price is pushing up. Okay, so what are we seeing based on 1 hour? Is it going up or it's coming down? Based on the structure we are seeing, this is almost an inverted hammer at a resistance. This is on 1 hour. And now it's also giving, and it gapped down a D2 again. And it's almost giving us more or less like that hammer, but it's still just bearish. This information we're seeing here now, could be that price is having issues around this point. Price is having issues around this point, and that's why we are saying that price is rejecting that zone. So it's one of the two. If price is able to close below this point successfully, we could have a bearish move. But if that doesn't happen, price will respect this point and push back to the upside. So that's the way it is. But on the long time frame, we could have price pushing up to this point and respects this zone, comes back down. If it doesn't, you can break above it and continue in that line. But yes, 1 hour, it could be this. So we could have price pushing back down or pushing up. One of the two will happen. But based on what we are seeing on 1 hour time frame, we can see that it has respected and it's trying to push up. And it's giving us that upward trend on 1 hour. So this could just be a minor pullback. You understand? So around this point, this is the strong point here. It could get here and gets rejected. After that, nobody knows. Either it breaks below or it reverses back. One of the two. So that's that on wheat. That's that on wheat. Let's look at silver. Let's look at silver. Let's see what is happening on silver. So this is silver. And let's look at it on the daily time frame. In fact, based on what we're saying, it's been more of a bullish move on this instrument. Okay, so weekly, yes, daily, yes, got to this high, did a pullback. This was where the whole thing ended, but let's make it to this point. Did a pullback to this point, and it got rejected. Well, actually, yeah, got rejected. In fact, this is the zone. Let me put it here. Okay, did a pullback up. So are we still expecting it to push up or come down? Now, this is it. Either it breaks above this point or it respects this point and comes back down. This is on daily time frame. It's one of the two. Either it breaks above it and continues in that bullish move or reverses back down. So these are the 2 points here now. Yes. So let's look at it on 1 hour time frame. But if you're looking at it on 1 hour time frame, it has created some minor zones here. No, it's not all zones you see on higher time frame, and this is it here now. You can see that price has actually respected this point on silver. So it got to this high, came down. Now did a pullback, push up, pulling back. So are we expecting it? Yes, it's one of the two. It could break above this part. So it's between these 2 points. This is on 1 hour time frame. So if it breaks above this point, then we could have a continuation in that move, or It gets to that point, respects that point, and pushes back down. And if it's pushing back down, it could get to this point and break below this point and start a bearish move. But one of the two is going to happen. Either whichever direction it breaks towards, either up or down, ours is to what? Follow. So that's majorly that on silver. Okay. So let's look at the index market. Now let's see what is happening in the index market on US 100, US 30, US 500, and the likes. Let's look at it. Let's see what is happening there. Let's see what is happening there. And we just hold on. Let's check it. Okay. Okay. Coming. Okay. Look at this instrument. Look at this instrument. Look at this instrument. Look at this one. Then we look at then we look at okay. All right. So first thing first, coming. Let's look at all this. We'll start with US 30, then we'll move to US 100, US 500, US 2000, D40. Okay, so US 30 first. Let's go to US 30. So we discovered that US 30 actually got to this high, and after that, did a pullback. And yes, I want to believe part of the reason why we're seeing price dropping is as a result of the US government that reopened again, you understand, yesterday. And as a result of that, there was a strong reaction in the market. That's why we're seeing all this push to the downside. So, but if you look at it too, it actually got to a new high day before yesterday. So we could say it did a pullback yesterday. And where price is now currently is close to a zone. This is that zone that we're seeing here. There's a zone around this point, and we can see that price is already having issues around that point. So this could be the strong point here for price. This could be a rejection zone for price. Price could get to that point, respect it and reverse back up, or break that point. And if price should break that point, we're begin to look at another point, which is where here. Price could get to this point here. So it's one of the two. Either it breaks below this point or it respects it and pushes back up, or it comes down to this point and respects this zone. That's just it. So these are the 2 points we can see there now. For now, that's the 2 points we say we can see for now. But there are still some other zones too. You can see from this point, there's still another one lesser than that. So yes, it could be between these 2 points. So let's just wait and see what price is going to do. Is it going to respect? And if price is able to respect this point, we could have a pushback to the upside. So let's look at US 100. So US 100, okay? So looking at US 100 too, I want to believe US 100 is also giving us the same vibes. You see, it's giving us the same vibes like US 30. They are all these are all US stocks, and I expect they move in the same line too. Got to this high, did a push to the downside. You understand? So looking at it from 1 hour time frame now, this is this high. There are different zones here. This is one point, and this is another point here that has been broken again to form another zone. And this is another point here. You see, these are points, and this is another point here. So it's just between these points, these zones, and this is on 1 hour. Okay, so they are here. Either it breaks above this point or this point breaks below this point. So it's one of the two. One of the two will happen. If it breaks below this point, we could have a continuation in that bearish move, or it respects this point and reverses back or breaks above this point and pushes back to the upside. So let's wait and see what is going to happen today based on these zones. These are the zones of the market. So let's watch and see what is going to happen. We tell you to trade the market based on zones, support and resistance. Life itself generally is based on support and resistance. You understand? So look out for these zones and be able to trade these zones. Once you're able to mark out these zones, your entry points, it's going to be very, very easy to get your entry points to know where to buy or sell from. You understand? So that's that on US 100. Okay, let's look at US 500. US 500 too is giving us almost the same vibes. It's giving us the same vibes. Yes, it's giving us the same vibes. In fact, so this is it. This is one point. This is the other point here that we are saying that price has broken below. Let me just pick it here. This is another point I can go with. Yes, price has broken below this point. There's still another point around this point here. Okay, so and it has created zones around this point here. Okay, this is another one here. So we can say price waiting for it to break above or below this particular area here. These are 2 points. So if he's able to break below these points, we could expect a continuation in that line, or he respects this zone and reverses back or breaks above and pushes to the upside. So one of the two. Let's just watch out for these zones and see what price is going to do. Waiting is a strategy. For us to trade this global market and make ourselves, we have to wait. Waiting is a strategy. That's the main deal there. Okay, so let's look at US 2000. US 2000. US 2000 is giving us the same vibe. Like I said, they are all US stocks. They are all US stocks. All US stocks. Okay, so the same thing, but just that their pattern might be a little, there might be a little difference between them. Okay, so this is another zone here. Okay, so from this point, after I broke below this point successfully, you can see that price continued to push down until it came to create these zones here. Okay, this is another one here. So it's one of these two. Either you break below this point or you break above this point. So these are the two zones for US 2000. Let's watch out for this point. Either it breaks above or below these 2 points. One of it is going to happen. It's going to pick a direction. And whichever direction it picks, then we follow. So let's look at the next one, which is DE40. So on DE40, this is for German stocks. This is an instrument for German stock. You can see, yeah, gapped up, and for what we're saying is able to cover all the whole gap that has happened here now. Okay, and this happened this morning. Yesterday, it came down to this, it came down. In fact, throughout yesterday, it was more of a bearish move for the German stocks. It was just dropping, and it dropped us to this particular point. And this morning, gapped up, and we can see that price is also filling back that gap. So this is this is our area of risk here now. So this is where we'll be waiting for price to see what is going to happen. Is it going to break below it or respect that point and push back up? One of the two is going to happen. Either it breaks below it respects that point. So let's watch out for that zone and see what is going to happen. Whatever happens around that point, that's what we follow. You understand? Okay. So that's for that. Now I think we're done with DE40. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yes, we're done with that. So these are all the instruments we'll be looking out for today. All right. So before I move on, also to I know that some of my colleagues will have been saying it. For those that are unable to trade on their own, you're unable to trade on your own and you don't have a way around it, and you're still learning. Pending the time you're learning, you can still be making some profits for yourself. Are we together, please? You can still be making some profits for yourself. What am I talking about? I'm talking about copy trading. Copying up, talking about copy trading. So yes, if you're interested in copy trading, kindly speak with your account managers. They will give you all the T and C concerning it. Very, very interesting. But first, let me just give you an explanation about copy trading. Explanation, this is it. For copy trading is a situation where a beginner who is yet to understand the movements of the market, how to buy, how to sell of the market, leverage on the trades of an expert trader who understands the market by what? By merging his own account with his own account. And when I mean merging, it's not talking about your money. No, it's just on his trade. You're merging your trade with his trade so that whenever the person is buying, automatically he buys for you. You understand? If the person is selling, automatically he sells for you and you make your own little profit out of it. But you want to have a good information about it, the T and C and the likes, please communicate with your account manager. They will give you much better details more details on how to go about copy trading. Yes, it's one other future we have on our platform now, copy trading, which is very, very effective. So yes, you know you're unable to do that for now. You're unable to trade on your own. You can follow that. Okay. So that's for that for now. And okay, so 8:50 now. We'll call it a day today. Thank you very much for joining today's morning market review. See you same time next week. Bye for now.